Hello there, welcome back to Crafters TV. It is a launch day. That means we're going to be showcasing over the next couple of hours some brand new, not seen before, unless you saw the wake up call, products from, in this particular show, Creative Expressions. We've got beautiful stamps and dies for you. We've got a whole host of wonderful, inky, spritzy type products in the show as well. And the headmistress herself is here with me too. Jan Brown is in the building. How are you, Jan?
I am good, thank you, Joe. Had a nice drive up this morning, managed to beat the rain up the motorway this morning, so all is good in my world. And yeah, stamps, messy sprays, what more could I ask for? And the most fabulous range of dies that we've got from there as well. So I've got a few little examples just to show you. So I'm going to go through the actual dies first, and this guy, I'm going to demo him first because he's just amazing. So the forest stag there, this is just one example
so cute, isn't it?
Of what you can do with him. We're going to cut him out, we're going to use a bit of gilding wax on him, and I'm going to show you another product that we've got on the show with it as well. And then we've got a Merry Christmas Everyone, which is a little bit like one of our creator card dies, so it does all the work for you, and then there are several things that you can jazz it up or however you want to illustrate it. We've got Mistletoe Kisses, which is beautiful. Just look at that one. Absolutely gorgeous for a Christmas card, and these are so easy if you're batch making as well, because with the dies there you've got everything you need. We've got some bauble dies on that have got various different greetings in them, so jingle bells, we've got joy, I think there's Noel, there's be merry, so lots of different ones. Either cut them out, make the baubles, or you can have them on the top of your cards as an embellishment. And then on the last one of the dies we've got the partridge in a pear tree, and again just beautiful, doesn't need much doing to it to make the most gorgeous cards there with that one. So we've got a demo lined up with that one if we can fit them all in. And then the stamps as well, we've got a lovely set of stamps coming up. So again, this little guy here is actually listed as robin stacks, and if he's coloured in like this he looks like a robin, but on my demo I'm going to follow more of this colour in, and I thought he looked like a penguin when you use the greys and things. So you've got sort of duality there with it, whichever way you want to colour him in. So that's the robin stack. We've got that lovely tree I love the simplicity of this one. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I've got demos lined up with as many of these as I could fit in. You've got that lovely holly spray there again that's just had some of the glossy product put on the berries there just to give a little bit of accent on it. You've got those lovely Christmas baubles. Again, depending on what colour scheme you use, you could cut these out, layer them up, do a little bit of decoupage, and then you've got that lovely snowman there as well. So I've got demos with as many of them as I could possibly fit in the show for you. And we've also brought you, now I have had these on before, on one of my previous mixed media shows we brought you some of the airless misters and introduced you to them as a cosmic shimmer product, but we've got a lot more new colours in today for you. So in the main range, which is the matte finish, I think there's 12 different colours being added to our range, so you'll find those on the website, but we've also added the pearlescent ones as well. And I'll go into more detail about this in the show, but just to show you the difference here, the main range of colours actually show you sort of a matte finish. Okay, whereas the pearlescent, you've got that lovely shimmer and sheen going on there. So I'll go through these in a bit more detail when we use them. But yeah, the beauty about them, the reason they're airless misters, and I can testify that this is true, they don't clog. How many of you out there have used colour misters, and I've been one of them, and you do nothing but end up cleaning the nozzle out because either the glitter or the mica or whatever it is stuck in the nozzle and it doesn't spray? Doesn't happen with these, and I've been using these in my prep and previously when we brought them to you on the other shows, and yeah, no clogging whatsoever. Just clean the nozzle when you've finished, good to go next time. So as I say, we'll have a closer look at those later on in the show, Joe.
Oh, we certainly will. It has been very busy. Now, these products were featured in Wake Up Call this morning. The larger collection, which I'm going to share with you in a few moments, is 20% gone. Let's start off with the die collection though and share that with you first. I'm going to go around because I want to be able to point these out for you. Oh, sorry, I've gone. I'm coming back. I'm going that way. I'm going. You got the die collection in here first, and you got some really awesome ones. Again, what you're going to receive in here, of course, is that beautiful mistletoe kisses with the bunny, the rabbit here. and the little chick. You've also got in here as well, Nearly Home. I love this. I love the intricacy in all of these. I think they're fantastic. Then we've got 4 of those word dies in here for you as well. So you've got Noel, Be Merry. You've also got Joy and Jingle Bells in there. Then the stag. So many of you were absolutely raving about this in the earlier show today. It's got a sort of Wicker Man, sort of Burning Man vibe to it, I think, if you wanted to create something like that. Then we move down into this really gorgeous big creator card die here for you as well. This one is your Merry Christmas, everyone. So much incredible detail. How about creating a card here and snipping bits out, layering it up, making different stages? You could really create depth and dimension with that. Craig demonstrated this one here in the earlier show. It's your partridge in a pear tree. Such a clever design. If you want the dies on their own, they are available right there for you, as you can see, with a saving, £95 or $140. What we then also have is the stamp collection available for you as well. These are so cute. I cannot wait to see what Jan does with these. And you've got the different ones in here. So you can see you've got your baubles in here, the snowman, the holly leaf. I love the simplicity of this Christmas tree. I think you're going to be able to make very elegant modern cards with this. You've then got all your different sentiments that you'll need in here, and of course those stacked robins there as well. £35 or $59. Brilliant value on their own individually. However, do you want some better value? Because if you go for it all, the saving gets even better. £120 or $189. Platinum members, you're looking at £96 or $151.20. You will get free shipping and handling and free postage and packaging on, of course, that larger collection. Lots of you went for it in the earlier Wake Up Call show, and I need to let you know that 1/5 of the stock, 1/5 of the stock has already totally sold out and gone. Any questions that you've got about these, get them into me. I'll pop them across to Jan. Crafters TV over on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you're on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to us if you are watching on YouTube as well. But I'm having to just slow it down a bit this week. I'm a bit lispy. Ready for the demos, I think is what I was trying to say. Let's just leave it there before I get myself in trouble.
Right. What are we doing? I must admit. So, yeah, we thought we'd get interest in this one already. I'm going to die cut him first. Now, obviously, it's just about to say it's not the actual size, but if I show you here, front is actually the size
substantial die, isn't
of
it?
the die. He is. What we're looking at just under 6 inches wide, about 5 3/4 inches tall. So it is. I'm going to use it for on my card. I'm going to make him the focal point. What else could he be? So I've bought a piece of craft card just as the base, and we're going to cut him out first, and then I'm going to add a couple of bits to it to just enhance that die. So just to pop him on there, and then I'm going to try cutting him without the metal plate, because although it is a very intricate die, I do prefer to sort of try first without the metal plate, and then if you do need it, you can always add it in afterwards. So I've got my junior plates there. It fits inside there nicely, but as a lot of you know, I prefer to use the large Gemini just in case I need that extra space. So I'm just going to turn that over and we'll have a little sneaky peek. But yeah, I think that's pretty much, there's just a little bit of an area there. So let's just, and this is the way to check it. If it's not quite cut through and I can just see a little bit in the middle there, I'm literally going to pop that metal plate in and we'll just pass it through the Gemini one more time.
And it is extremely intricate, this die, isn't it?
It is. There are so many different cutting points on it, and you'll see that when we actually take the die cut out of the die. So yeah, it just, you know, I always try without the metal shim first. The Geminis, even though we've got the same technology throughout them all, some of them are slightly keener than others. My one at home is very keen, even though I've been using it for years. It just can't wait to get in there. So I often don't need the metal shim at home. So let's just take that off. And again, you've got a terrific stencil there as well. Nice. I wouldn't necessarily be getting rid of that part either. So you could use that to stencil through. And then I think the easiest way to actually clean this, if I've not got mine with me, have we got I'm just having a little nosy. I can't see one. I was going to use the dye brush, would probably have been the quickest way, but I can't see one underneath there. So we'll just give it a little tap and get some of those pieces out, and then just release it from the dye carefully. Be mindful that there are lots of little, you know, sort of, there's all the antlers in there, so just be gentle when you're releasing it.
We were talking in the earlier show about how all of these woodware dyes are based on paper cut shapes,
yes,
Jan.
yes.
And you'd have to be such a talent, wouldn't you,
oh
to
my
be able
goodness.
to paper cut this? Can
to
you
actually
imagine?
do this with a craft knife, that is some
or
skill.
even with, you know, a pair of little scissors.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to do this? But the great thing is you can get that elevation in your projects so simply now that we've got the dyes for you that do it.
Yeah, that's where the paper cuts name comes
Paper cuts,
from.
sorry, woodware
yeah.
is the stamps. That's where
Woodware's the stamps, the dyes are creative expressions, and the range is paper cuts, and that's where you get that name from, because it does look as if it's all been done and cut out. You can actually buy things online that are already done like this, but I just think that takes the enjoyment out of it.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do then is we're going to add a little bit of detail to him. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I love working with this on craft card, is bring in some of my gilding wax. So this one's King Gold, but you could use any of the colours, and I'm just going to highlight the whole of the stag first of all with that gold gilding wax, and it just adds a little bit more interest. So all over the craft card, it's something that I mean, you know how much I love my craft card, but I just think the gold gilding wax just brings it up even more so. And it's highlighting all those areas. They've got those beautiful die cuts in there as well.
Could we still cut coated cardstock with a die like this? Things
Absolutely.
Like glitter and
Yep.
mirror card and those kind of
Yep.
things.
If you were doing mirror card, I would definitely pop the metal shim in, because obviously anything like that that's got the coating on, you're adding to the thickness of what you're cutting. So anything like that, I would definitely be popping the metal shim in. But just with cutting cardstock, as I say, I was just trying first to see what I got. I'm going to show you the one I've done at home when we're finished. And I actually used my midi to cut him at home, and he cut out absolutely fine with the midi. So that's the gilding wax part done, and then I'm just going to grab my white there just to get rid of that excess off the mat. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of ink as well. So all these products will play nicely together. We're going to use one of the new sprays to create a background as well. So a lot of mix and match with the products. But just to finish this one off, I'm just going to take some of our water reactive ink, and I just want to nudge the edge of it now to sort of give a bit more definition. Now you can do this before you do the gilding wax if you want, but I'd prefer to do it afterwards, otherwise I end up I'm quite heavy-handed, so I end up covering it all up and think, right, well, there's no point in that, was there? So gilding wax first on mine, and then that little bit of ink just to highlight, or even low light really, some of those exterior edges there. It's not obvious, but it just gives you that little bit of shading on him there. So that's our stag done. So the next thing I want to do is create a background for him to sit on. So we'll pop him to one side for a minute, and then I'm going to bring in these gorgeous misters. So these are a Cosmic Shimmer product, which I know a lot of you guys have bought into, and testimony to, you know, they are excellent. They really are their products. They really put the work in, they do the groundwork, and what you're actually getting. And these are 50 mils, so they're going to go quite a long way. And the one that I'm using here, we've got a whole range of colours, which I'll go through a little later in the show, or Joe will show you the colours. But this one's Meadow Moss, which is like it's a real nice green on there. So what I'm going to do is I've brought my spray box with me.
You got your own blender?
I have. It's on it. Well, yeah, you can see what it used to be.
Yours can be Bertie.
Bertie.
Yeah, Bertie the spray booth.
Because there is quite it's called a mister, so it does literally go quite a long way. I'm also just going to pop a little bit of tissue across the front of the desk, because we've got a beautiful white desk here. And I know how far this goes, so I don't want it to end up everywhere. So I've popped my cardstock in the box there, literally just an old box lid with some layers of kitchen paper in there. And the plain ones you can use literally as is. If it's the pearlescent ones, which I'll show you later, they're going to need a shake, and they've got a ball bearing in to mix the mica, which gives you the pearl. But this is just one of the flatter colours. So I'm literally going to take it, please make sure that you're looking at the direction. Yeah, it's not it won't be the first time, and it probably won't be the last that I've ended up covered in it. But yeah, and if you read the instructions on the back, it says it can be sprayed from any angle. So again, normally we have to be very careful with colour misters that you've got them at a certain angle, but this one you can go in anywhere at it and it will spray. So the closer you are, the bigger the burst of colour. The further away you are, the lighter the burst of colour. So I'm going to go sort of about halfway and literally just start to add. And you can see how far that spray's going. All right, so it may be that you want to put a full piece of A4 card in there so that you're not wasting the actual spray there. The closer I go, you can see that the intensity of colour gets better. All right, so again, depends. Further away, sort of light speckles, closer, those darker
I like that kind
speckles.
of pooling though that it gives you in the middle. I think it looks really cool.
It does, and obviously as we dry it, that's going to start to change effect now. So I'm just going to bring that out of the box, and I've got the old heat tool on at the ready, and I'm just going to keep my wet wipe there, my little wipe, just to dab any of the excess, because I don't want too much dripping around. The card will always bow when you add a wet product to it. It's just the nature of the card stock. So sometimes you'll get it sort of rolling where you don't want, so just dabbing it off, and then you can see how you get these gorgeous little water marks in it. Absolutely beautiful. So we've got areas that are very finely misted, which I like. We've got areas where it's more concentrated colour, and then you've got these areas where the water's actually sort of pushing the edge of the ink around. So absolutely beautiful, so easy to work with, they really are. And we've got a fabulous range. I've got 12 different colours in today for you, plus including the new pearlescent ones as well. So I'm just going to make sure this is dry, and then I'll show you the one that I did at home, because I did a little bit more to it to make the background for my stag to stand against. So these will work in the same manner as you've seen me when I've used inks, and I've put the inks on the mat and then I've dabbed it up like so. We're going to do a little bit of that later on. They will also work if you want to do watercolour painting. They are water-based misters, so you can squirt a little bit out onto your mat and use it with a paintbrush to colour with. Absolutely beautiful. So I just wanted to make sure that was dry before we went any further. And then once you've got it dry, you can then shape that card back into position. So again, just give it a run with your fingers and you'll be able to get it back into shape again. All right, and we're good to go. So that's as far as I've got here. And then what I did, I had a look through my stash and I took one of my embossing folders. So this is one of our Crafter's Companion embossing folders called Spring Forest. And I know last week I had the Set in Stone one with me, and it's all the same range. So I thought, yeah, the trees are a great backdrop for him. So I've run the piece through the actual embossing folder.
Nice.
And then I've added a little bit, and this is what I loved about it. Our grasshopper ink from our Spectrum Noir range plays perfectly. So just around the edge, I've actually inked it with the grasshopper first, and then I've used a little bit of the brown again. So I've got Friar Brown here, but you could use the Seal Brown. And just over the top of that embossing, I've just dusted it with the brown ink just to highlight those sort of trees a little bit more than just in the green itself. So it doesn't need a lot. I've not actually inked this up again. I'm just using the residue that was left over. But you can see how it's just brought that detail out. And then when we stand him on here now, he's actually got something that it looks as if he's stood against, instead of him just being sort of in midair.
There is a very similar one called Winter Woodland from the Reindeer collection in stock. That particular one is actually
true.
out of stock
Yep,
at the moment.
absolutely. So let me just move that out of the way.
And it's only $3.99. Bargain.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring some bits and pieces in that I've prepared at home just to make the card. So we've got, I wanted quite a large one for this one. So I've got an 8x8 card blank. And then I've matted and layered some paper from one of the pads that we've got on the show. So this one's actually from the Everyday Delights collection. I've just chosen this one out of here because that colour was perfect with what I was doing with the ink in there. So we've got these on the show, and we've got the solids that go with them on the show as well. So that's going to be my first layer. Let's get that one stuck down. So we just want an ordinary tape pen there. And again, you can see where I've taken the middle out of my cardstock because I don't want to waste that gorgeous, I've used the gold satin mirror card for the matting. and it's one of my favourites, so I'm very sort of sparing with it, and you can see that I wanted another piece anyway, so that bit's come out of the middle. So this is just going to mat and layer and leave a border around the edge.
If you want to get those paper pads, there's a duo available for you. Save 25%. I'll show you those in more detail in a wee while.
And then I've got another layer of the gold to go on the middle here, and then we're going to mat and layer this one on top of here.
What was the card you used for the inky background there, Jan?
Just stamping card.
Stamping card.
Just
awesome.
stamping card, yeah. As I say, I'm going to recall it all-purpose card.
Yeah, everything card.
We started using it primarily for stamping, and it is brilliant for stamping and particularly colouring with sort of your alcohol pens or your colouring pencils, things like that. But it's just so versatile. You know, you can make your card blanks from it. You can do all the inky techniques on it. Absolutely gorgeous. It die cuts beautifully as well. So yeah, I want to call it all-purpose card. So again, I'm just going to mat and layer that one on top there. And then what I've done is I've actually cut a piece of acetate, just slightly bigger. You can never see the acetate. Just slightly larger than the piece that I'm working with, because I want to create a little tiny bow. So I'm literally going to pop this round so that we get that little bit of curvature on here. And before I do that, we're going to stick him in his setting. So this is the one that I did at home. There's very little difference in them there, I don't think. We could have them both in there, couldn't we?
I like them both. You
yeah,
could.
I don't know whether they'll both fit in there actually.
What do you call a collective of deers?
I'm not sure. So I'm going to use my dotty tape pen for this one, and I'll just do it over the back of here just to catch any pieces off there. So just to add
A herd
of deer, stags. Yeah. See, every day's a school day when we come here. I learn all sorts when I come up here. So again, just to go over the back lightly with that dotty tape just does the job there. Just be gentle with his antlers that you don't dislodge any. And then we're going to stick him onto the front of here. And I've just cut the panel big enough for him to stand in that space there. So that will stick those down. And then again, I want to add some tape to the edges of here. So I'll just go with a little bit of the red line again on the sides, and then we're going to fasten that piece of acetate around here before I stick it onto the card. So again, a little bit at each side. And I've used the red line tape. I do tend to use it probably more than I should. If you've got ordinary double-sided tape, it would probably still do the job here. So then we're going to take one of those pieces off. And from the front here, I'm just going to overlap, whoops, I'll just bring that so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to take, I've scored it at 1/2 inch and folded my acetate, and I'm just going to bring that up to the edge of the cardstock there, and then stick it to that tape at the back. And then you can see that the acetate is just that little bit longer than the piece that I'm working with. So when we push this one in, it's just going to create that little tiny bow effect on the front. So again, if we remove the liner off this side as well.
Apparently, multiple bucks or stags are referred to as a clash. There you are. A clash.
So that one's just to go on there. Okay. And then we're going to stick this one down onto the card. So again, I think I'll stick with the red line tape on the back of there, just to adhere those to the centre of the card.
Did you say dear them?
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh
it's
dear,
coming, it's coming
oh
fast
dear.
now, isn't it? Without even trying, oh my goodness. There we go. And then I'll just pop a little bit of the double-sided tape in the centre of there so that we've got a nice stick on that side as well. So once we've removed the tape from the back of there, let's just find the front of our card again, make sure we're opening the right way. And then in the centre there, we're going to pop that one. And again, you can just press down, because the acetate will move, you can press it down and get a good seal.
Deary me, says Rachel Gillen.
Deary me.
Rachel, our social media superstar.
And then also on the show, what have I done with them? I had them out ready for you, and I've covered them up with everything Here we go. In that range of stamps, there is a set of Christmas wording strips, which I just fell in love with these. They're so simple to use. They're all the same height. So, you can mix and match them. I've just stamped out the magical Christmas there and added a few little bits of colour to it. And I've used these with most of the demos that I've prepped today. So I'm just sort of giving that a little tiny bit of a curve. And again, I want to put a bit of tape on the back of them. We're going to stick that over the acetate, which is why I've just curved it a little tiny bit. And then we're almost finished with that one for that first demo. I've just got a bow to stick on the top. But yeah, this one's going to go just at the bottom here. Or shall we have it in the... Oh, no, we'll do it there because the bow's going to go in the other corner then. So that one's going to stick on there. And then I've just got at the top corner here, a little bit of the glue there. And we've got a nice little bow just to balance out the sentiment and not to cover him up too much. And then, as always, I like to use, these were just scraps that were left over, so the little pieces that you cut off, I've cut some off here because I did a bigger piece to start off with, bit of the scrap paper, bit of the scrap card, and I've literally just done a little bit of work inside. And then the Believe is from the stamp set again here, just to sort of decorate and match the inside to the outside there. But that's that lovely forest stag in all his glory there.
So many people are absolutely loving that there. Andrea saying, hi Joe and Jan, I use stamping card for everything. Makes great card blanks. Jan is the absolute guru of mixed media, says Rhonda. Yes, she is. Oh dear, oh dear. This humour is staggering, says Catherine Bennett. Oh wow, we're really off today, aren't we? Yeah, loads and loads of love for that. Jamie's talking about doing, I will be careful with how I say this, Sharon.
Go on.
Sharon Schnitter. You okay, Jen? Sharon Schnitter, which is paper cutting. When I was younger and I had better eyesight. Now I'm quite happy to buy intricate dies. I bought the pear tree and the deer this morning. I did it. I've just been at home doing some Sharon Schnitter. Yeah, I love it.
I've heard that one before.
Let's recap exactly what you're getting there in that largest collection. Everything is coming in there for you. So you are going to get, of course, that gorgeous hair there as well with the little chick down there, which I love. The little girl who's on her way home, which is fantastic. And then, of course, in here, then you're getting the word. So these two here being the mistletoe kisses and the nearly home. You're also going to receive in here the Noel and the Be Merry, alongside, of course, the Joy and the Jingle Bells. These ones here do have the outside edge to cut them out, as well as the detail die cutting them in. The same can be said for this gorgeous creator card here that you've got as well. It's a really big, substantial die, this one. It's your Merry Christmas, everyone. You've also got the stag in there and the pear tree, of course, too. And then all of those gorgeous stamps, which I just think they are so fun. All designed by the lovely Francois Reed. I know a lot of you will be very familiar with her artwork and the stamps that she brings from Woodware. You've got the baubles, the snowmen, the ivy. I love the simplicity and the cuteness of this heart Christmas tree. I think it's stunning. You've got the sentiments in here and you've got those stacked robins too. It's an amazing collection. 20%, over 20% I'm hearing of the big collection has sold out and gone. You guys are absolutely loving it. Jamie's saying, good job, Joe, with the pronunciation. Thank you. We just about got there, Jamie. What we're going to share with you next is the Airless Misters. We've got brand new colours for you in here. I'm going to take you through these. Jan has very kindly put together these little swatches to show us exactly what they're going to look like when you spray these out. So this one here, Bermuda Bay. Oh, I wouldn't mind being in a bay in Bermuda today, Jan. Oh, that's Bermuda is where they have those swimming pigs, isn't it? Swimming pigs? The swimming pigs. Do you not know about the swimming pigs? No. Oh, we'll find pictures of swimming pigs. Happy as a pig in Bermuda Bay. Then you've got the Blackberry Bliss there for you. Chan's like giddy today. I love it. You
always blind me with all these facts that you know, Joe. I don't know where you find these things out, honestly.
Blackberry Bliss. You've not seen the swimming pigs in Bermuda?
No, I haven't seen the swimming pigs
you've not
in
lived.
Bermuda, Joe.
Green galore is
what... whether you're winding me up or not.
Oh, I'm going to get pictures. We'll see them. Don't worry. Hot Fiesta is what you've got here. Amber Lights. You've also got Maya Blue. Maya Blue or Maya Blue? Go with Maya Blue. Meadow Moss. I love this one. The Night Reflection. Oh, it's mysterious and mystical. We've got Pacific Point. Oh, Flirty Pink. Hello, Flirty Pink. Love that one.
Flirty Pink. I like that one.
It's nice, isn't it?
Cherry Pop.
Cherry Pop.
Yeah, and just
delicious.
That last one blew me away.
Poppy Parade. That
the
is
intensity of the colour there.
Sexy red if I ever saw it, that one right there. So they are your sort of, I don't call them regular ones, let's say matte finish ones that you've got there. Then what you've got, wait until you see these ones. Now, Jan has very kindly done these for us on white cards. So this is what they look. This is a copper blaze, but how incredibly different does it look when you've got it on the black card? Can you see there the difference? Incredible, it really is. The next one we've got here for you is the Gold Rush. Again, beautiful on the black and on the white. Really, really incredible. You've also then got the Moondust Silver, sorry, here as well. Look at how subtle that is. It's almost kind of like a watermark on the black, isn't it, Jan? Yeah. Really stunning.
The next one is the one for me.
The Rose Pearl.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. This
let's see it on the white first, and then I'll show you it on the black. Because look at it on the white.
It's sort of one way you look at it, it looks pink, and then the next minute it looks green. When you sort of move
it's sort of the underlying ink is green, and then the pearlescence is pink almost. But then look at it on the black.
It's the same mister that.
Same ink there. Yeah. Incredible. Absolutely fantastic. What's the other one?
There is a fifth one, Pearl Whisper, but I didn't actually have that one to do a swatch with. I think it's the one nearest you, Joe.
Yes.
Pearl Whisper.
Can't really see what I mean. It's a sort of lovely sort of silvery grey that you've kind of got in there. So,
I think you're just going to get that pearlised effect with that one.
Yeah,
through the mica.
And these have got a little.
We've got the ball bearing in to mix up the mica,
Amazing. Do grab those. I mean, all brand new colours there for you as well. You're going to absolutely love them. It's the Bahamas have got the swimming pigs, not Bermuda.
Oh, could
Bahamas.
Be easily confused,
I'm going to get a picture, and maybe we'll show you a picture, Jan. Maybe we could show everyone a picture of the swimming pigs in the Bahamas.
As I say, I never know whether you're winding me up or not, because I'm very gullible.
Just to brighten up our days.
Yeah.
I mean, pigs might swim. Who knows? Right, any questions that you've got about anything on the show? Rhonda's got pictures of the pig. She's got her own personal pictures of the swimming pigs.
Oh, wow.
Rhonda, send us in your pictures of the swimming pigs.
Yeah.
We'd love to see them, please. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, and we can show you the swimming pigs to Jan. I think that would be lovely. Public Surface Broadcasting is what we're talking about here at Crafters TV. Remember, though, the star of the show, of course, is those brand new stamps and dies, and it is very, very busy on those at the moment. You are getting all of them. They're all in stock at the moment. £120 or $189, £96 or $151.20 for Platinum members. I think they give you such a lot of options, don't they, these stamps and dies, Jan? Because I mean, that first demo that you've done just there doesn't scream Christmas to me whatsoever.
No.
But you could easily make that very Christmassy.
Absolutely. I've got another sample that I can show you later on in the show that, in fact, I'll show you now because it blew me away. This is the same. So this is the one that I showed you at the top of the show with the stag. We're done in the black. I used the craft card, but just look at that one. He's on the front of there, just in glitter card. And I just think that is absolutely stunning, that. It's a really, really nice sample. Yeah, so look, totally different looks depending on what you do with them. Yeah, so we're going to go over to the stamps now. We're going to try and sort of flip-flop between the dies and the stamps and fit as much in for you as you can. So this one is the Loving Snowman, and again they've got quite a whimsical nature. I love Francoise's style of drawing. If you've got any of the woodware stamps, you'll know what I mean, because they've just got that sort of character to them, I think. So again, you can just stamp him out and colour in, absolutely. You can stamp and emboss them, which we're going to actually add some embossing powder to him, but I'm going to start again with those lovely colour misters. So we're going to use the Bermuda Bay this time. So it's a gorgeous tealy colour, this one. And I'm going to start off by actually spritzing the card. And this time I've got some watercolour card. So this is from our premium watercolour pad. But if you buy the watercolour card in sheets, it will do exactly the same job. I just find the one on the pad just a wee bit smoother, because sometimes watercolour card can be quite pitted. And then when you're stamping on it, you don't get a perfect result. So yeah, I'm going to use a stamping platform. So again, if we don't get first time, I'm going to do multiple layers. So job number one then, bring the box back in and the paper just to protect the desk there. And we're just going to give this a spritz to get going.
The misters, are they water-based, Jan?
Yes,
so you'll
they
be able
are.
to do all of those techniques that you can do with all your other water-based inks.
Absolutely. So, like I said, you can use them to colour with. They are really, really good concentration of pigment in there. So you can just spritz them out on your mat or on a tile or an acrylic block and pick them up with a paintbrush to colour with. You can literally, use them just literally as they are to spray the colour out. It may be that you want to start and do extra techniques with them. So you might want to, which is what we're going to do here. We're going to spritz it, then we're going to stamp, and then we're going to start and bleach some of the colour out. So again, this is just one of the plainer colours. It's not the pearlescent one. So it's a habit. I shake them by habit, but I don't really think it needs it in this format.
Do you sing a particular song when you shake stuff?
When I shake?
Yeah. I sing shake, 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 senora, shake your body down.
Why does that not surprise me?
Turn it all around. That's what I sing when I shake. Anything.
So again, like I said before, if you go close to it, you're going to get quite a good concentration. If you come higher up, you're going to get that lovely sort of spritzing effect. And I love the fact that you get some bigger drops and then some of those really fine misted areas as well. So not too much, she says, going in for another spritz. I can't resist it. You get such a fine spritz, and I've barely touched it. There's 50 mils of product in here, and I'd love to know how much card 50 mils of product would cover, because seriously, you use so little of it to start with. So again, I'm going to move the box out of the way. I'm going to bring the card over here, and we're just going to dry that off to start with. I need it dry for the next part of the demo. So again, just to add, it is plugged in. I'm positive.
Doesn't look
I
like it's
love
doing
my
much for
little
me.
heat tool. Honestly, I'm going to be so sad the day that it does decide it's going to craft heaven, because I've had it for years. I don't even know whether they still make it.
Loads of people have been trying to get hold of them. Every time you use this on air, people ask about it and they can't find them.
Yeah, a lady messaged me the other day for the make of it, because she'd been trying to find it. So again, just to make sure, and then if you do get any of those larger bits, that you don't want so deep, just a little blot, and that's where you get those lovely little watermarks from. So I'm just going to take some of that intensity out of there with those splodgy bits, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. All right, so I do need it dry because we're going to do some heat embossing next. So again, always turn it over, and if you dry the other side, it tends to flatten the card a little bit to start with, because it will bow with the heat. So if you heat it on the reverse as well, you can see how it's flattened it down. So we're good there. And then again, just reshape it while it's still warm, and you'll be able to get it nice and flat. So I'm going to use it this way up, I think, with the darker splodges at the bottom, going up to the lighter area at the top. So what I want to do next is bring in the stamping platform, and we're going to stamp it out now. So I'm going to pop it in here, and I've got a couple of different types of ink. It's just my preferred way of doing things. I'm covered in the colours already. Look, I didn't stand a chance today, did I? So we'll bring him in, and I'm going to start out with a really solid black ink, which is one of my inks from home. So I'm going to pop him in the middle there, and then pick him up with that stamping platform lid. Move that one out of the way. And then what I've got, I use an oil-based for my black stamping. And I just find, especially over colours, this one is really, really solid black. So again, it's a VersaFine one. I'm not sure whether we sell it on our website or not. Again, it's something that I've used for a long time, but I'm going to use it in conjunction with our pigment ink as well. So I'm going to stamp a couple of times to get that solid black outline. I want a really nice, deep black outline to emboss. And then I'm going to cover it. Now you can emboss the oil-based ink, so you could put the embossing powder straight over this one, but I just think with the pigment inks on top, you're not going to have to worry about how long it takes you to get to your embossing powder, because it does stay wet for quite a long time. So pressure on the top there, and if you're not so good with pressure with your fingers, just take something that's got a reasonably solid surface. So I tend to use my glue bottle and just You can actually buy special tools that do this, but I just think, oh, I'm sure there's something you've got in your craft stash there to give it a really good press. Now you can see, because I'm going over the top of the ink, we've not got a perfect image there, which is why the stamping platform comes in handy, and the fact that we can overstamp and do that extra layer. So just to ink it up again there, it's nothing to do with the stamp, it's the fact that it may not be totally dry underneath. So again, plenty of pressure on those areas. You'll find if it comes up like that where there is a little bit missing, the ink's more than likely still on your stamp, so you can just return it straight to the picture. So again, you can see how that's building up now, and then what I'm going to do for the third layer is pop that pigment ink on this time. So this one's the jet black from the opaque pigments in Spectrum Noir, and I know that this one will catch my embossing powder then. So nice good coating on there. I've got every confidence that that's all lined up underneath with the stamping platform. Okay, and then I've actually got my clear embossing powder at the ready to just pop that over the top so that the black shows through. So I'm going to bring that one straight in.
Oh, awesome.
Take this off and then literally cover all those embossed areas with the powder. Try not to let the fan blow it all away. And you can see how it's all gone quite opaque now. So we'll just pop that to one side. Bring the heat tool in again, and I'm going to heat, and again there's always a lot of questions about whether to heat it from above or heat it from underneath the work. I don't find that it makes a vast amount of difference for this kind of heat embossing. If you're doing a full area where you want a really glassy finish, it does work better from below the cardstock, but for this purpose either. Now I'm going to do it from underneath so that you guys can see better. Get your heat gun up to temperature first so that it's nice and warm, and then we'll start sort of over in this area here. Not too close, because you don't want to sort of scorch your card, and it does take a second or two for the heat to penetrate the cardstock, but you can just see there now where that opaque colour is actually turning nice and glossy black. So again, just chase it round the image. Once it's turned glossy, move away from it and just chase it round the rest of the image. And then I tend to sort of go about halfway, and then I have to turn the card round so that I don't burn my fingers, because it is on.
It's, I mean, I don't think heat embossing over inky backgrounds is not something we think to maybe do a lot of times, is it? But look how effective it is.
So, you know, you could leave it here. You could actually just get this far and leave it here, and you've got a stunning card. You could add a little bit of colour over the top of it, which is what we're going to do. But before that, I'm going to take some of the colour away as well. So I've actually got some water under here that's just literally just water, that's all it is. Because the misters are water based, they will literally work with the water. So again, I'm just going to take one of my brushes and I'm going to saturate the snow. And can you see how it activates the ink? So you could colour in. You could actually colour that area if you wished.
That's amazing.
Yep. But I actually want to lift some of this colour out. So I'm just going to leave it a second or two and then blot. All right. And this will actually take, can you see how it's lifting some of that colour? So again, there's options there as to whether you want to leave him. You know, there's no reason why you can't have a Bermuda-based snowman. Why not?
Why not?
I would say, you know, creative licence.
Get some Bermuda shorts on him.
So again, just let that water sit on top. And the secret with this is knowing how far to go with the water. So it does take a little bit of practice. And again, you know, it goes to the quality of the card. The better quality the card, the better the result you'll get. But the longer you leave it to sit, the more it will actually bleach out. Can you see how it's bringing that colour out? Nice. And I like how we're getting that mottled effect underneath.
He looks almost watercolour now, doesn't he?
Yeah, so you're getting sort of that beauty of the background. Now, if you didn't want to do this, you could actually do your stamping first and then create a mask. You've seen us mask off areas. So you could either use your drawing gum, if you've got drawing gum, or you could create, I just usually stamp on a sticky note and cut it out. Put it over the top and then do your misting. So you would keep the snowman and the detail all perfectly white underneath then. So many different ways. You know, I could have sort of built you a show just on this one stamp, just showing you the Having said that, when is it? Next week, I'm back next week with a stamping special,
Ooh.
a masterclass, a stamping special.
Do you know what day that is, Jan?
It is on Thursday. I'm here Wednesday and Thursday next week.
Oh, you'll be with me for that then on Thursday.
The masterclass is on the Thursday,
well,
and I was delighted when I saw that they'd put in a stamping special. So I'm hoping all these techniques that I talk about when we're doing something like this, I can actually concentrate into a show for you. So yeah, that will be at 3 o'clock next Thursday.
Brilliant.
But I'm here Wednesday as well with some other bits and pieces. So you can keep going as long as you want with this, and then once you're happy with it, I'm going to take a little bit out of his nose as well, because I want to add some colour into parts of this, which is why I've lifted some of the blue out of it. So you can see how far we've got with there. So the actual hearts, I'm going to keep with that blue theme. So this time, rather than a wet brush, I just want it damp, because I just want it damp enough to move. You see how it's picking up that gorgeous colour from the mister, and actually use that to colour in. So literally, I'm not adding any more to it.
When you add extra liquid, isn't it?
Yeah, not adding any more to it at all. I'm just moving about what's already on the surface of the card there. And literally, the brush was just literally damp right this time rather than wet, because I want that colour to stay there. I'm also going to be very controversial and give him a blue nose as well, and a little bit of blue in here. Okay, so in the stripe there on his hat. And then you can add colour now with any method that you wish. So I've actually got my aqua markers with me, which are also on the show. And we're going to do a little bit more colouring with these later, but you can take these straight from the pack and literally just colour over the top.
Are they available on the show as well?
Yep.
It's a buy 3 packs. So 9 markers, essentially get 3 for free, so saving 25%, which is brilliant. I'll show you all the colours of those a little bit later in the show.
So again, I've literally just gone direct to the paper with those. Okay, we're going to do some different techniques with these later. But again, for this purpose, I'm literally just taking them straight, and it's going over the top of the ink. The ink's not really interfering that much with them, because they're not, even though they're a watercolour pen, they're not saturated with water. So we can literally take these and work straight over the top. I mean, this one's red, and I'm going to go straight over the top of that blue spritz that we put underneath. Look, and you can see, put a little bit in the robin's tummies there. And then we need a brown shade. In fact, we'll go in with that one again there, just to colour the robins in.
It's funny, I hadn't even noticed the robins on the stamp until you picked them out.
Yeah, honestly, it's a lovely stamp, it really is. And then I think I actually used the blue again for the centre. I didn't want to colour all. You can colour them all in differently, but just to do the centre bit there. I also added a little bit of colour just under here, and I'll show you the one that I've got finished, just to sort of give some suggestion that there's a bit of shadow there from where he stood. But if I show you the one that I did at home, and I've mounted that onto some silver mirror card, a little bit more depth with that one. I think I'd spritzed a bit harder with that one. So more or less the same thing. The little stamp here is part of the stamp set, so I just put the star in the sky and done exactly the same, embossed him the same, added the colour just like we had done there, and then mounted him onto some mirror card. I'm just going to keep this nice and simple. Again, I've just created, using my stamping all-purpose card, just created myself a card blank, again using those strips, and this is the actual piece from the middle of here that I've just cut out just to add some detail inside. And then we're literally just going to pop this on top, and then you get a couple of sentiments in with the stamp sets as well. So you've got a choice of whether you want to use the ones from the stamp set or whether you want to use those strip words like we showed you at the top of the show. So I'm going to keep this nice and simple like so. I want him to be the focus of the card, and then on the stamp set we've got winter wishes, which I'm just going to pop in at the bottom there. So just to add that one across here, I've stamped that onto a little bit of the scrap watercolour card and just kept it nice and simple there. I added some little black gems just on his buttons there, but you can see just how much detail you can get, and using a combination of the spritzers with the actual stamp there.
Really, really stunning. Lots of you chatting away. Craft Gidge says, Jan's artistry is amazing, and Joe is Joe. Always look forward to an informative and humorous time. Loving the show today. Such a happy snowman as well. Pam, talking about your embossing, says, need to do that with my clear embossing powder, much easier than remembering to lay paper underneath to get it back in. Jan, I love watching you teach so many different ways to use our goodies, says Marcia. Aisha's very much looking forward to that stamping masterclass. Stacey said, I've never tried this technique, Jan. I love it and I'm going to give it a go. And Kathy is saying, does anyone know if these colours are new with the misters? Yes.
Yes.
12 brand new colours for you in the misters, and also 5 new pearlescent ones as well. So more newness than you can shake a pokey tool at. Let me also share with you and recap what you're getting in the big collection. I need to let you know a quarter of this has now sold out and gone. You are getting all of those 7 brand new die collections in there for you. You've got the gorgeous one here with the hair and the chick just here. I think it is absolutely adorable. This is your mistletoe kisses and you're nearly home. Both of these you can cut the detail in and out. You've then got your word ones which operate in the same way. So you've got your Noel, Be Merry, Joy, and of course your jingle bells there as well. That beautiful stag. And then this one here works in a kind of creator card style, as you can see. So your Merry Christmas everyone, cut it in or cut it out, which is fantastic. The same here as well for the pear tree, a partridge in a pear tree. I created a demo of that in the earlier Wake Up Call show. You guys absolutely loved it. In fact, I've got it right behind me over here. I can share it with you. You can see just there, that was what you created with it. It's absolutely beautiful. So that's the dies. You're then going to get all the stamps included as well. So you've got your baubles in here, that cheeky snowman that you've just seen there. I love that these do include sentiments and embellishments, these too. So don't think it's just the folk imagery on its own. You've got the holly in there that I love. I think this might be my favourite one of all the stamps actually. The Love Heart Tree. I think it's just so simple and cute. All of your sentiments within there, and then of course you are getting those stacked robins in there as well. Best way to get the best value is to get it all together. £96 or 151.20 for platinum members. Very, very busy on that at the moment. Let me also take you through some of the paper pads that we've got for you. So this one here is your Everyday Delights. Firstly, you're going to get 48 sheets of the 8x8 here. It's 160 GSM, and it is a really lovely all-rounder, this pad. Definitely something in there for every occasion. You get that along with the solids as well. Solids are 240 GSM, so a really good card weight. They are double-sided and in a really nice array of colours for you. The next one we've got here is the Celebrations. I love this because it is very, very bold. Really lovely pops of colour and some beautiful patterns within there too. So that is your Celebrations, and then you've got the Celebrations in the solids as well, which come together for you as a duo. And again, I love that craft card that you've got in there, and then some really lovely sort of pastel tones within that one. And then the last one I've got for you is the Happy Holidays. You've got your patterned papers in here all along that kind of festive theme, these ones. Very, very useful for all of the kind of Christmas crafting that you're going to want to be doing at this very moment in time. And that is going to come with all of the complementary solid colours for you as well. So 32 sheets here of your Happy Holidays. Do grab that one, 1723 or 2092. Bulging baskets galore is what I can see on the website. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to check out. Whilst you do that, here's all the details of US shipping.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95 and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet.
The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing. Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Some of the fun stuff that we get up to. There any questions you've got about any of the products on the show? I know there's loads of newness for you. Lots of things you may not have seen before. Then get them into a studio. Crafters TV if you're over on Facebook. Crafters Companion if you are over on YouTube. Jan has done it again. It's going to be hard to choose the creation of the day. Gosh, yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. I don't envy you there. Crafty Becky says, Jan, absolutely love your demo. You inspire me and bring me so many wonderful tips and ideas as well. Remember, if you want to get your hands on all those brand new stamps and dies, that is really the beginning of your journey to creating some of these incredible things that Jan is sharing with us in this show. It is in stock. It's available right now. I don't know how long we'll be able to say that for, though. Right, Jan, what would you like to share with us next?
Right, so I've got that little robin stack now. What I've just been doing while the break, you've not technically missed anything, because I just realised the way that we've ordered the demos, this stage is pretty much what I've just done with the snowman. So all I've done so far is take some watercolour card. I've stamped out my image just like I did before with those two black inks, and then literally added some of the clear embossing powder. And I realised that we'd just done that in the last demo, so I thought if I get that done in the break, I can now show you the technique that I wanted to work on. So we're going to bring in those lovely aqua tricolours again now. We're going to work with those. So I'm going to do some colouring straight onto my watercolour card, and this is from the watercolour pad again, which I think we've got on the show today, Joe. So if anybody's wanting to stock up, it is a really nice quality cardstock for this kind of technique. So all I've done there, you can just see when we catch the light how that's got that lovely sort of a glossy embossing on it, and it's also great for when you're watering colour. It creates like a little well that you can colour inside. So obviously they're called robin stacks, but I'm going to colour them in and make them look like penguins. So we're going to go with that grey tone again. And this time, instead of going straight into the cardstock, I'm going to put my colour on the glass mat. Now, if you don't use a glass mat at home, you can use a ceramic tile or a piece of acetate. If you're using acetate, pop some white card underneath it, and then you'll get the true colour of your actual pens, rather than not being able to see through the acetate's not got any colour behind it. So again, I just want a damp brush for this one, all right? And I'm going to colour in some of the area of that little penguin or robin, whatever you want to work on him as. So by colouring in brown with a red tummy, you're going to get a little robin. We're actually going to pick up some of the watercolour ink now off here from the pens and just add it into, and I've put a little tiny bit of water down first, and can you see how the ink's travelling?
Yeah, it's sort of pooling, isn't it?
Yeah, across the water. It sort of finds the track that you've already made with the water. So again, just add the water first and then drop a little bit of that colour into it. So as much or as little as you want. You know, you can go really dark with this, or you can keep it quite light. And I wanted to create that sort of watercolour look with this, that it wasn't I think watercolour is not as precise as such as alcohol marker colouring. It's quite forgiving. So if you're just starting out your colouring journey, This is a great one to sort of have a go at because you don't have to be perfect with it. And again, same again, into the next one. Add the water first, and it's not saturating the card, it's just adding a layer of water to the top of it. And all I've done is just touch. If you just touch the water with the ink, you can see how it travels into where you've laid the water down. So again, if we just need a little bit more of the colour itself. And again, I keep blotting the paintbrush on my tissue so that it's not filling it with water. So the last technique where we were bleaching out the colour, I did put a lot of water and let it sit on top of it because I wanted to pull the colour. This time we're sort of working in reverse. We're using the colour first and then we're adding the water first, sorry, and then we're adding the colour into that equation. So you can just see how it sort of spreads, and you get that lovely, almost like a mottled effect, I think, with the watercolouring here. So you can see how it's just dried at the top one.
It almost looks quite sketchy, doesn't it? As if
Yeah.
it's been sketched.
They are, and as I say, the designs that Francoise does, I think they are quite a sort of a whimsical look to them. So you get that, it's a perfect colouring system, I think, for these. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't stamp them onto your stamping card or your Nina cardstock and colour them with your alcohol markers. I've got one that I was working on. This was my secret squirrel stuff when I was here on Friday, Joe. You know, when I was trying to give you a sneaky peek, it was the snowman that we were trying to show. But I did actually do the holly spray with the alcohol markers. So I'll see if I can grab that in a second and show you. You know, so whatever your preferred colouring medium is, you can have a go with. And don't forget, if you're investing in those mister sprays, you can squirt a little bit of the colour onto here and do the same job with the misters. So I'll show you what I mean with that, because we've got, have I brought the grey one with me? Ooh. No, I haven't. I was going to show you with the grey, but basically just to squirt a little bit on here and then pick it up with your damp brush just the same, and then you could add it in, you know, and colour with it as well. So that would work. Now, I've gone a little bit out of the lines at the bottom there. So again, I'm just going to make sure that my brush is quite clean and then just go over it with the water, and you can almost erase it. So find a dry bit of the paper towel. And like we bleached out before, you can see where it's just erased that colour. So again here, just at the bottom there, there's a little bit too much because, you know, not that I'm a perfectionist or anything like that, she says. But again, just find a piece of the dry paper towel and blot it. And it does take away most of it for you.
How tall is this penguin stamp? Lena's asking.
How tall? That's a very good question. So if I measure the one
on the
here,
packaging, I couldn't see it on there.
he is from the tip of the holly here all the way down to the bottom of the stamp. We're looking at about 6 1/4 inches tall, and then he would fit in a 2.5 inch wide gap. All right, so again, nice size for a card front. You know, it's the good focal images that you've got to play with there. So again, I'm just going to add, not the red, because he's not a robin. We're going to go for the blue again. So again, just pop a little bit down on the mat. And this time, instead of using my paintbrush, I'm going to use my crystal clear sparkle brush pen.
Nice.
So I'm
going to get a shiny tum-tum.
He's going to have a shiny tummy, yeah, because he can. So again, I'm just going to get that one going. Make sure that I've got some of the glitter flowing in there. That's fabulous. And then literally, again, I don't want it to be too wet. I'm going to pick up the colour with that this time and literally pop it into here.
Oh,
so
love
again,
this.
Just to blend it out. I'm not going to colour the whole thing. I just want it to sort of blend out into very little, like so. So again, just in the corner. And then if you just rub it on the paper towel, it'll get rid of the colour, the pigment, and then you can just drag the rest of it across so that he's got that lovely little sparkly tummy there. So again, just on this one here, wipe off the excess on the paper towel and then drag out the rest of that colour, and it almost blends it out to nothing. So you've got concentration at one side. And
so creating shading there with that as well,
yeah,
which is very clever.
Yeah. So literally as much or as little as you want. And then I think they had red hats. I've got one done at the side of me, which is what I'm looking at. Again, you know, you can go straight to your card. So you can put a bit of colour into the card, and then you can bring your brush in and drag this out. So there's so many different ways that you can use the pens. So again, pop a little bit of the colour straight into the card in the corner there, and then drag. So however you prefer to do this, you know, it will work either way. Whether you prefer to put your colour down on here and then work with it from the mat, it is entirely up to you. And then the last bit, you saw me do this on the last one, is you can go in straight to the cardstock with your pen if you prefer. And you literally can go straight on and colour in just as you would do normally. So lots of different ways in which you can use the pens, and that's not an exhaustive list either, it's just what I've used on this particular card. So again, because we've got different shades, we can add a little bit of shading in there. And then the last bit I want is a little bit of...
A lot of people saying this would be great for a slimline card or a DL card, Hadassah being one of them.
Yep. So again, a little bit of orange there in his beak. And we'll not give him a shiny nose, we'll give him a... And again, just to drag that colour. And it just, as soon as you touch it with the water, it'll activate it and you can move it about on your cardstock.
This is absolutely stinking adorable, this one.
And then just for his top of his hat, I'm going to use the glitter pen on its own, literally just to add a bit of sparkle on what should be technically the white area there. So we'll just have a clean up and I'll show you what I've done with the other one. And I've got the card part made for this because I've made it into a gift and a card. It just sort of popped into my head. That's what I wanted to do with it. So this was the one. They're a little bit darker. I'd spent a bit longer colouring here, but I actually like their tummies better than this one.
I
so
like
you
the
know,
lighter one
it's
as well.
yeah, it just shows you. I quite like the lighter coloured one. He's got more depth of colour. I spent longer on this one. And then the star is part of the set as well. I've just stamped the little star out as well on the top there. And again, you get Holly at Jolly Christmas and Merry and Bright as the stamps, as the sentiments in the stamp set. So what I've done, let me just move all the pens out of the way there, is I've matted and layered it on a piece of silver glitter card, and then I've actually made my card ready because it took a little bit of time to put it together. But what I've done is I've got a card with a gift box as part of the card. And all I've done is put some little tea light candles in here. I've cut out a shape to put some acetate in. And then these are just the little freestanding cheapest chips. We can buy them in bags full here for very little money.
Yep.
Just make a really nice gift. They will also, I didn't get a chance to do that, but if you've got any of our aerosol cans of spray and sparkle, you can actually pop all these in your spray box, spray them, and it'll just touch the top of them with a little bit of glitter as well.
Nice.
So yeah, lots of different ways. So I've put that together, okay, and I've just lined it again with a bit of the silver to give you, and then we've got the greeting card at this side. So he's going to go on the front here. So again, I'm just going to use the tape pen to pop him on the front. And then I've done a matte and layer exactly the same size with the silver matte, and then just a plain layer to go inside the card. And I've used those strip sentiments to do the inside bit. So on the outside, before we actually go into the, in fact, I'll do the inside first and then show you what I'm going to do on the outside. So here, I've used one of those strip sentiments and done the Happy Christmas, and then used the little star just to link it to what's on the front. So we're going to put that as the inside area to write your greeting on. And then on the outside, what I've done is I've stamped out the little, whether you want to colour them in as robins or penguins, I've stamped them again and fussy cut them so that we can actually layer up the front here. So I've done, I stamped it all out, and I've cut first the bottom two out. So literally we're going to take, and I've started these off ready so that I don't get stuck. And just because we're going on to an area that's got, you know, colour and glitter and bits and pieces, on the back of the sticky pads, I'm just going to pop a little tiny bit of wet glue on the back of them just to give that extra stick. And I've cut this. Normally when I'm fussy cutting, I leave a little white edge around it, but because I want to layer up over here, I've cut them right up to the embossed area so that we can literally pop them on there. And then I've done the same again just with the bottom one, and we're going to decoupage him up again. Because I've got the depth at this side for the gift box, I thought, right, we can have a play with the height on here, and he's going to sit on the bottom one like so. And then the Holly Jolly Christmas is part of that set. So again, I've just stamped and heat embossed that one. A little bit of tape on the back, and I thought we could perhaps put that one on to the front of there rather than the card itself. So you can see you've got a nice card and gift together in there.
Nice to have the two together, isn't it?
Yeah, and then when you stand him up, this part will open, so you've got, you know, your greeting there with your little gift in it as well. So he's actually a robin stack, but I just got a bit carried away and decided it was going to be a penguin instead of a robin.
That is absolutely beautiful, Jan. I love it. I think it's great. I think the concept card is great, but also I think that the imagery is wonderful and it's so playful. I think the thing is about the stamps that are within here, they are just fun, aren't they? They are really good fun, but you're able to create something beautiful. Now, if you wanted to go for the tricolour aqua markers that you saw Jan using there throughout that last demonstration, here they are. So the whole concept of these is that one pen has 3 different colours. So unlike our tri-blend or our tri-blend brush pens, you actually have, rather than the same colour in 3 shades, you have 3 different ones, but they blend together beautifully, and the other 2 pens in the pack will all work as complementary colours. So you can colour a project with just one pack, or you can go for all of them. The other packs that you will receive in this one are the Essential Neutrals. You will also get the Floral Meadow and the Great Outdoors in there as well. It's a 25% saving. You're paying for 3 packs, we're sending you 4, which is excellent. The other thing that you might want to go for alongside that is this, a wonderful little accessories bundle for you. And what you'll get in here is the Aqua and Inks accessory collection. You'll get the blending palette in there, which is fantastic. You'll also get the 2 brushes, so you'll get a number 3 and a number 8 in there. You'll get the spritzers, which are excellent for adding and mixing ink in and spritzing, or just spritzing that water down. And then the watercolour card pad. This was the one that Jan was talking about using as well. I do need to let you know that of this collection, this bundle, 40% of that has gone. So you might want to act sooner rather than later if you are going for that one. Let me remind you again though about the star of the show, which is of course these brand new dies and stamps from Creative Expressions. They are absolutely beautiful because of course what you've got there is the Inner Pear Tree die. You're going to receive the Forest Stag, the Mistletoe Kisses, the Merry Christmas Everyone, the Baubles Joy and Jingle Bell, also the Bauble Noel and Be Merry. Noel, I always do that. Noel and Be Merry. Noel and Be Merry, that's what I could call it. Noel and Be Merry is what it's actually called, and the Nearly Home die as well. And then remember as well, you're also receiving all the great stamps in here too. The wonderful baubles, that cheeky snowman there, the ivy. I love this simple Christmas tree, the sentiments, and also the stacked penguins in there. They are all brand new to us today here on Crafters TV, and you guys are absolutely loving them, I am pleased to say. And everyone is loving the demo so far as well. Wow, another great card along with a gift this time. This is awesome. I'm going to give that a go for sure, says Terry. Betsy says, I absolutely love watching Jan do demonstrations. I always learn something new. Nice to have a stacked stamp that's quick and looks like masking techniques was used, says Mary Pat. It was a really, really great point. Terry Tom's asking, does the colour from the pens have to be wet to blend them out, Jan? Talking about the aqua markers.
It's better. You can blend. When I went direct to paper, so I used the pen literally and coloured in. I've used on this one a couple of different greens here, so you can see how I've got a little bit of blending direct there. But if you're using them wet, you will get more sort of depth of blending, probably is the best way to describe it. So have a go both ways, you know, get some scrap card and have a go both ways and see for yourself, you know, which you prefer. Just because I do it one way doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. You know, I can show you how I work with them. Somebody else might work totally different with them. So yeah, there's always more than one way of doing something. Just have a play, see what you come up with.
Yeah, absolutely. Great tip there. Any other questions you've got, get them into me. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you are across on YouTube, and I'll do my best to pop them across to Jan for you. Right, what would you like to share with us next then, Jan?
Right, we're going to go with that lovely pear tree next. Now, I know Craig had a look at this one this morning.
This and the stag, probably my favourites out of the dies, I would say.
Yeah, again, you know, trying to come up with something different, and we're actually going to use them in conjunction with the sprays, but what we haven't looked at yet were the pearlescent sprays. So these are slightly different in that you've got the water base and you've got the colour in there, the pigment, but you've also got mica in them. And if I just turn this, you can see here where I've had them laid down, it's sort of settled. So if you give, these do need a shake to wake them up, and once you start shaking and release the mica, can you hear there's actually a little ball bearing inside there which will disturb and agitate all those mica flakes in there. And there's not much of it to see, but you get the most gorgeous sort of pearlescent swirliness going round in there. So yeah, make sure you've given it that shake to start off with. And then what I want to do first, again, is colour some of the card. So I'm just going to bring that box back in, and I'm literally going to pop
Bertie.
a bit of paper down again. I'm trying my best because I know it does tend to travel, and especially with the fan being on, I don't want to make too much mess. I'm making some nice patterns in here going on, aren't we? So again, this one, this time stamping card. It would work with the watercolour card as well. So make sure you've got all that mica agitated in there, because you don't want sort of like a watery colour to come out. You want it to be that lovely pearlescent texture to come out of there. And then when you're ready, again, just make sure your nozzle's in the right direction and give it a spray. Now, you saw the swatches that Joe showed you earlier. You will get a different sort of effect on this with black card versus white card. So again, have a play with it and see what you come up with. I've gone for white card here on this one, but on the black you get more of the colour and more of the pearlescent nature, I think. So again, I'm just going to dry this off. We'll take it out of the box so that we can see what's going on a bit better. There we go.
Rhonda's found the picture of the pigs and she sent it in. Very excited, Jan.
Oh, yes.
Very, very excited. We'll have a look at them after this demo. The stamps are wonderful, says Crafty AJ. Bought them, too hard to resist, they say. There you are.
They are. They're a nice little collection, and I just think, you know, there'll be some people, me being one of them, that hasn't even thought about starting Christmas cards yet. You know, we get so busy with sorting, you know, demos out for here that it's usually about the 19th of December and think, oh, I've not made any Christmas cards for the family yet. So last minute rush and dash going on. But these would be fabulous for Christmas cards, whether you go for the stamps or the dies, or, you know, the bundle with both in. You're going to have something that will cover all eventualities. And like Joe said, I think certainly with the stag, he would be great for men's cards, things like retirement, stuff like that. You could really jazz it up like the sample I showed you to make it into a Christmas card. So again, lots of scope. Same with this one really, the partridge in a pear tree. It doesn't have to be Christmas related, but you've got those lovely die cut areas in it again, just like you had with the stag. So I'm just making sure that's dry. And then I'll show you, the sheen on this is absolutely gorgeous. So again, just shape that card and make sure that it's going where you want it to go. But when this catches the light, now just look at that.
Oh, look at that.
And that's the difference between the matte finish in the colours and then your pearlescent ones. And again, as I say, to do it on the black card, it looks totally different. So we're going to use this now to die cut that pear tree out of. All right. So in your kit here then, you get the main die, and this has actually got a cutting edge all the way around it, so this will cut out the pear tree shape. But I actually want the edge die as well to just make it that bit bigger. So we're going to tape this into place. All right. Just sort of get it centred. And if you're not confident on doing them together, you know, choose your aperture one first and get that one on. And you could pass this through the machine on its own and literally get that in place. But I'm actually going to pop this one just inside, and there should be just enough room. There's about 1 millimetre gap all the way around it. And I always think a good gauge is you should just be able to get your pokey tool and go all the way around it and make sure that you've got a gap and that the die's not touching in any place. The last thing you want is for those dies to be overlapped. And then again, we're going to pop this in. We'll try, in fact, I'll leave the metal shim in there, seeing as it needed it for the stag, because this one's got just as many of the cutting areas in it.
Okie doke.
So I'm going to move the box out of the way.
Susan says, Joe, I caved. I put my order in. It's my 70th birthday on Monday.
Oh,
so
many
happy birthday to
happies.
me from hubby, who doesn't know yet. There you go. That's fine. You deserve it. Happy birthday for Monday. I won't be here on Monday, but I wish you a happy birthday now. Kerry Velati wants to know, if I use the shimmer on a stencil, will it wash off?
Yes,
the pearlescent?
because it's all water-based, it will just wash straight off. So either
Excellent.
wipe it with a piece of damp kitchen paper or run it under the tap and it will come straight off, yeah.
Fantastic.
So again, I'm just going to release the tape gently, and I'm going to take the whole thing away there. I just want to get the tape, and again, move that out of the way. I find sometimes that by rolling the tape, it does less damage than if you pull it all off. There we go. All right, so what you're going to get with this one then is the actual die cut itself, which I want to take out of the die, and then you also get this.
Oh, nice.
I mean, this bit in itself, you know, you could do that and just stamp a sentiment inside it, you know, use this part as well. I don't actually need this bit, I just wanted the extra space, and I'll show you what I mean when we take this one out. So let's leave those separate, and again, you've got the release holes in the die, so just nice and gently work it out of the die itself and not to snag it. And then again, there is a lot, I meant to have a look for my die brush, because again, there's a lot of little pieces in here that are all cut. It's just a case of popping them through, and you've got, you know, an embellishment there that you can actually use in your design. Now, it's actually this part that I want for my card. I actually want this bit with the aperture in. So I've got one of these that I've cut out. You can see that these are all cut, but it's going to take a minute or two to just pop all the little pieces out. So I've got a white one that I'm going to use for the card. So I've just kept it, I actually die cut this first and then sprayed what was left. But whichever way you wanted to do it, you know, you can use either the decorated one or not. And then what I've done is I've just used a little tiny bit of card behind here, and then fussy cut round it just to highlight the little partridge in the middle. And the glitter card and the matting and layering card that I'm going to use is from those beautiful 12 by 12 pads that we've got on the show. I said to you, Joe, that I needed those in my life. I think I was here with you when you were demoing them, and I was just like, wow. But I do have them now, and my goodness, they are beautiful. So this is the rose gold one, and then I've just added a few little gems on there as well, just to highlight areas of that tree. And what we're going to do is because I use the aperture with it as well, this is slightly bigger than the die itself, so this will sit back inside and leave me that gap around the edge. So what we're going to do then is I've put together card base, which is it's almost like half of a diorama card. So I've literally gone 11.5 inches by 7 3/4 this time, and then I've scored it at 2 inch and then again at 2 3/4 on each side. And what I want to do is create this kind of shape. So this will be the front, like so, but you can see how you've got that shaping going on. So it will stand when you've not got the fan blowing on it. It will stand up on its own. All right, we're going to decorate the front part here, and this is what I was talking about. This is that gorgeous glitter card. Half of the pack is glitter and half of it is the gorgeous pearlescent that coordinates with it. And again, because it's very precious glitter card, there's a bit missing out of there because I'm not going to waste it. So this piece is going to go on the front here. So we'll get that stuck down. And then I've created a couple of panels. When I did this at home, I actually sprayed a bigger piece of card than what I needed so that I could cut it up and use it for the decoration on the card. So this piece is going to go on that front panel like so. Let me just get that flat again so that I can stick it down on there. And then again, as I say, I've taken the same mats and layers, so the glitter card, the pearlescent card, and then this was the leftovers from actually when I'd done the spritzing, and these panels are going to go on either side. So again, we'll get those in place.
Amazing. Shaddai says, Prince Joe, today is my 37 years wedding anniversary.
Oh,
I was
congratulations.
Was late for the show. I was making hubby an early shrimp and egg chow mein.
Ooh,
delicious.
Sounds rather nice.
Does sound rather nice. I haven't decided what I'm going to have for my tea tonight, you know.
I hadn't even thought that far in advance. No. Crikey. Right, so again, we're just going to pop that other side on there as well. Whoops. Slippy, slippy.
It doesn't... Oh, tea, sorry, as in tea, no, as in as I'm going to have what for my dinner. But in the north, dinner is lunch.
Oh.
So you have, in the north here, the first meal of the day is breakfast. The middle meal that you have when you're at work is dinner. And then the evening meal you have is tea. Where I'm from, in the south, it's breakfast, lunch and dinner. What do you call it, Erin? Breakfast, lunch and dinner, George? Breakfast, lunch and dinner. You haven't adopted the dinner tea scenario yet, now you live in the north. Not yet.
Babe.
So say that again. In the north, lunch can be called dinner or it can be called bait, apparently. What do you call them, Jan?
Mine would be breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Yeah, same.
And then if you have a late breakfast, it becomes brunch. Because it's a cross between breakfast and lunch. So yeah, I often have brunch. I don't always feel like eating first thing.
Right.
So I usually have something about 11 o'clock and call it breakfast and dinner together. So
breakfast and dinner or breakfast and lunch?
Dinner, yeah, lunch.
Listen, we've opened a can of worms here, guys.
So this is the piece that we've just literally sprayed up and die cut, and I've done the same again at home, but I've just put some tape on it ready because I wanted to raise this slightly. So you can see we've got the same kind of thing going on again. Put a little bit more density of colour on this one again. I've been a bit more sort of light-handed, I think, at home, which is unusual for me. Now then, I've now got to get all this backing off, Joe, so I'm hoping and praying that it all behaves itself, because this is actually the tape rather than the
foam on a roll.
Yes, yes. It's not the one that I use for shaker cards. It's flatter than that, but it's one that I've got in my stash, and it was just because it was such a large area that I wanted to cover. I thought I'm going to use a whole thingy of foam pads on this, so I went with the tape, which I buy on a roll, but it can sometimes be very temperamental when I'm on air. We're not doing too bad. Look, see what I mean? It's actually broken part way through. So yeah, I will just take my time and take all the tape off.
You take your time, don't you worry about that. Dinner time is midday till 2. Julia Gales, this is waging in. I'm sorry, Julia, but I just don't think it's correct. I think that, obviously it's correct for you guys in this part of the north, but I think if we're going to go for universal meal times, I think we need to stick with breakfast, dinner. No, wrong one, Joe. Breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Lunch and dinner.
And I mean, tea is generally a drink.
The more you talk about it, though, the more confusing it gets.
Well, Julia then says, Joel, in the north we have breakfast, dinner, tea, then supper.
Yes, there's always supper in the equation as well.
Supper?
Supper.
What do you have for supper?
Supper's a late night meal. You know when you get a bit peckish at about 10 o'clock at night?
Right.
Supper, yeah.
So that's like, what, a small sandwich or a biscuit?
It could just be, sort of like a nice milky coffee and a biscuit. It could be, I know some people, I've got friends that have like beans on toast.
Beans on
supper.
Toast?
Yeah. So yeah, basically it's just another opportunity to eat, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to stick with breakfast, brunch, lunch, tiffin, afternoon tea, high tea, dinner. Yeah, just go with all of those. Just have the lot. Have the lot.
Right.
11s we forgot 11s.
Oh, of course, yeah.
11s is the little snack that you sometimes have, especially if when you're at work. Could be like a little something from the
vending machine. If you've had a really early breakfast.
If you have your breakfast like quite early,
you have it at 11.
7, yeah, you have it at 11 a.m. Just sort of see you through until lunchtime or dinner time, depending on where you're from.
Right, I'm going to stop there because there's a couple of extra bits, but I've got enough off to stick it down now. So this one's been cut to mat and layer inside here. So I'm just going to leave a little border of all that pearlescent card showing round there. And then because I've raised this one up slightly, this one's going to drop into the background now. So I'm going to use the white one so that there's a bit of contrast. And again, bring the dotty tape pen in for this one. Just gently, make sure your dots are on the move, and then nice and gentle over the back of all the die cut there. And you don't need much pressure. If you press on too hard, the dots will go through and end up landing on whatever's underneath.
Right.
So if it's your glass mat, you end up covered in sticky dots. So just nice light pressure, and that will apply enough adhesive on there for it to go. And because we cut that extra edge, it's the perfect shape, and you've got that little gap all the way around there. Okay, and then I've just used one of these stamps from that stamp set.
Nice.
Those little strip stamps, and we've got season's greetings on there, and I'm going to keep it nice and simple on this one. And I wasn't sure, I think probably at the bottom there.
See,
with this one.
This doesn't scream Christmas without the greeting to me, Jan.
Yeah, well, this is what I said. You could use this at any
opulent.
time. Yeah, it's not
Very
particularly
opulent.
Christmas. You know, if you had happy birthday, just the same on here. But I think that needs to go at the bottom there, doesn't it?
Renee says if they have a late lunch / early supper, they call it a lupper.
I like it.
A lupper.
I like it.
Late lunch, early supper, lupper.
A lupper. That's like a brunch, isn't it? But later.
like
So if
brunch,
I
but the
turn
other
that one
end.
round now, as I say, when the fan's not blowing away,
Nice.
it will stand up by itself there. Look, we've just got the fan blowing here at the side of me. So, but yeah, just as another idea, and it's mixing and matching those dyes with those Mister products that we've got on as well.
Absolutely, and this, if you want to create gorgeous projects just like this, and it all starts with you grabbing a hold of these brand new stamps and dies. Remember what you're getting in here. You've got, of course, that beautiful mistletoe kisses within there. You've also then got your nearly home. Here's some of the stamps that you can see just here. The baubles, you've got the snowman, the holly, you've got the hearts in there. Then we also have all of those different sentiments in there for you as well. You are also going to get the stacked penguins within here too, or robins. They are robins, aren't they? Yes. The pear tree there, that gorgeous big creator card. Really snip into that and see what you've got. Then you've got the stag there, and then your words: joy, jingle bells, Noel, and be merry. They also have the outside cutting edge on those too. But that is what you're getting. Use your Club Inspired discount. Platinum members, £96 or £151.20. I think we should all live like hobbits. Breakfast, second breakfast, and then 11s, says Jamie Hoganelli. I love that name, Jamie Hoganelli. What a great name. Where's it from, Jamie? Let me know. Victoria has just tuned in. Is that a partridge in a pear tree? Victoria, that is exactly what it is, indeedy. Let me go through. Remember, you've got the 12 new colours with the matte finish airless misters. I'm going to share with you again the pearlescent ones that you've got here, because I just think they're amazing. And you get a different look and feel if you're using them on white card. So this is the copper blaze here on white card, but here's the copper blaze on black card there, and you can see it gives you a really different look. So cool. Let's also look here at the gold rush. You can see here's the gold rush on the white, but then on the black, oh yeah, love that. The next one you've got here is the silver moon dust that you can see, and again a very different look and feel whether you are looking at it on the white or on the black. And then you've also got the rose pearl here. I mean, the rose pearl is truly different. Very beautiful. The other one we don't have a swatch for, you also have a pearl whisper in there, which is just going to give you the pearl undertones there that you can see. Right, I'm going to, let's show you the pigs. We've got a picture of the pigs, Jan. Here they are, look, swimming in the sea. Look at them.
So
big,
what
big
does
lads,
somebody
aren't they?
take them out for a swim then?
No, they live on the beach
they
and
live-
then they go swimming in the sea.
Ah,
Wild water pigs.
wow.
How amazing is that?
Impressive. That's cute.
Absolutely amazing. Right, it is very busy out there at the moment, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to check out your baskets. Whilst you do that, here's all the details of Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, And of course, the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration. And of course, you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet.
The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing.
Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
We do create every day. Sometimes beautiful things, sometimes mayhem, sometimes pandemonium, sometimes laughter. We create something every day, at least, don't we, Jan? Let me just share with you, there are a couple of different options of how you want to get hold of these. If you wanted to get hold of all the dies on their own, absolutely you can. So there's, of course, the 7 die sets that you've got. Here they are. So if you want to get those on their own, £95 or $140 to get your hands on those. Or if you want to get the stamps on their own, you also can grab them individually, £35 or $59 if you want to get the stamps on their own. The best way to get the best value is to get the two of them together. You get an extra saving. You make sure you qualify, of course, as well for free shipping and handling as well to the US, and of course you're all going to get free UK postage and packaging paid on those as well, which is brilliant. Right, Jan, where are we heading next in our crafty journey?
We're going back to the stamps again now. We're going to do your favourite one this time, Joe. We're going to have a look at the little heart tree.
Nice.
So this one sort of comes in components. So you've got the tree itself, and then you can add whatever. So you've got the little star to put on top, or you've got an extra one. You've got the little pot. You've got 3 different sentiments in there again. So, there's lots of scope for actually creating and building your own tree with this one. So again, we're going to start off, and this is my love of crafting, is starting off with a piece of white card and turning it into something totally different when you've finished. So we're going to work from the base upwards until we do everything on here. We're literally going to colour it, we're going to stamp and emboss on it, and then we're going to do a bit more colouring, add literally everything we've got. So to start off with the colour, you've seen me many times use the inks. So we can literally use our inks to colour the cardstock if you wish. I often tend to put my ink onto the mat, spritz it and then dab it up with the card. Now I'm going to do a similar technique to that, but I'm actually going to do it with the watercolour pens this time as well. So just to show you versatility with the products that you've got. So I've taken a couple, and it wouldn't be a Jan show without actually using some pink in there. So we're going to use tulip, and we're going to use the hot pink as well. We're going to use a combination. They're very similar. They're just a little bit of depth in shade. So I actually want quite a bit on my mat here, and you think, oh, she's using all that ink, but to be honest, it's not using much at all out of the pen. And then I'm going to just take my spritzer, which I've always got in the bag. It's just filled with tap water, and I'm going to spritz those inks to get them quite wet. And then literally I'm going to mop up the ink just like we do with a ink pad.
Awesome.
And get some colour onto that card. So this is the watercolour card from that pad again. And I love how it sort of runs and makes those patterns on here. So again, pop it in, dab up all that lovely ink, and you get I like how you get the veining in it as well when you're using the glass mat. And again, you know, just go for it, mop it up so that you've got some colour on there basically. And then I'm just going to dry that layer off. So that was the pale one, which was the tulip. And then we're going to add a little bit, it's a slightly darker shade, the hot pink. So again, just to dry the bulk of it off so that you don't end, otherwise they will just blend together. And then I'm going to take a piece of paper towel just to clean. You know, if you've got another piece of paper, you could just carry on blotting this until you've used all the ink. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with that hot pink, which is just a slight shade darker. It's not an awful lot. I didn't want there to be a vast difference. And again, spritz it until it's quite wet this time. And then I'm not going to go for the whole thing. I'm just going to dab sort of parts of it this time. And again, if you get it, you know, you can move it into the gap with the water. So I just want to pop some pieces and just bits of it. I don't want to cover over the top of what I've done. And then once you're happy with it, we'll get rid of that for now. And then I'm going to dry this layer. Okay, so again, just creating a background to work on. And once I've decided I'm happy with it, we do need to make sure it's totally dry to actually start an emboss. We're going to heat emboss over the top of it. So again, just to get that excess moisture off the card there. And then as a final layer, I thought, right, we'll see if these products play nicely together. And boy, they did. So at the moment we've been using our aqua watercolour markers, but then I'm actually going to throw some of the mister at it as well, literally. So again, just as a precaution,
the copper blaze, by the way, in the new pearlescent misters, is over a third gone now. So if you want that one, lots of you just checked out on that. Just a moment ago there. The other pearlescents are all catching up. Very busy on the pearlescents. They will be the first ones to go over the matte finish ones.
So all I've done then there is this is, I think, you know me and my pink. This one's Cherry Pop. Absolutely gorgeous. Quite a deeper shade of pink. So again, I've just popped some of that onto the top of the ink that we'd already done, just to add another layer of interest in the background there. And again, if you don't want those great big splodgers, just dab them out of the way with your tissue. And then again, I need to make sure that it is totally dry. And then we're going to put it into the stamping platform and we're going to stamp that little tree over the top. And this time I'm going to use some silver embossing powder. So if I'm using an embossing powder that's got any kind of colour to it, I don't need to waste a coloured ink. That's what your sticky watermark ink's for. So again, just heat that reverse and you can see how it flattens the card pretty much back down to where you started. So make sure it's nice and dry. Manipulate it there back into shape. And then the next thing I'm going to do, because I don't want to risk any areas still being the slightest bit damp, I'm just going to bring my little anti-static bag and go right the way over the top of it, to make sure that there's no areas that are still tacky or wet. Now if you don't have one of these, you can use things like talc and brush it over the top. You can use cornstarch, anything like that that's going to draw the moisture out of your card. And then pop it into our stamping platform. So this is going to be the base of the design now. Try not to touch your card too much, otherwise that takes away the using the anti-static bag. And then we're going to bring in that lovely little tree.
Oh, I do love this one, Jan.
It is, it's beautiful. Pop that in position, and I'm just going to be mindful that I want to leave room for the star at the top and room for the little bucket for it to stand in at the bottom there. So once you're happy with the position on that, we can pick that up, and then I need my watermark. So we need the clear ink this time. So this is a really, mine's not so clear because it's been well loved. But
that's pretty, I reckon that's pretty
it's
good,
not
Jan.
bad, but this is really ultra sticky. So I'm going to give it a couple of coatings of this, and then the embossing powder should stick straight to that then. So we're going to pop that down once. Okay. And you'll not see much of this until I put the embossing powder on top of it, because it's sort of like a watermark ink. So it's just, you know, a clear ink. You think, oh, she's not done anything, but trust me, it is there. It will show up when we put the embossing powder on. So I'm just going to give it another coat just as an insurance in case I've missed any areas with that first press down.
Elaine says, I love watching you make these backgrounds. I had to bring out my misters and oh wow, I'm amazed at the looks. You are an inspiration, Jan. Is what the lovely Elaine says. How nice is that?
Now then, I'm just going to grab a piece of paper to catch, because I don't have this embossing powder in a tub, so I just want a piece of paper to catch it in. And then we're literally going to pop some silver over the top of this one now. So plenty of that. And then when I put this over the top, you should be able to see, oh, the fan's blowing nicely. You can see that image emerge there, look. Yeah, so that's nice. Stuck to the ink there, and all the excess powder. What
embossing powder was this one, Jan?
This is just a detailed silver one that I've got from my stash at home, yeah. So the difference between the embossing powders, this is really, really fine particles to cover a stamped image like this. When I was here with the MDF last week, we had the mixed media embossing powders on, which are much, much bigger crystals and are meant for covering like a decent surface area rather than just an outline. So there is a slight difference in the different embossing powders. So again, once we bring the heat tool back in now, there we go. And again, just make sure it should be reasonably warm because I've just had it on. But again, I'll heat it from underneath the card because it gets you can see the magic happening. So we'll start over in this corner here. And again, it just needs a second or two for the heat to penetrate that card, and then once it hits the embossing powder, can you see there how it's changing? Beautiful. From a dark grey.
It's nice. I really like that silver colour.
The silver on the pink was nice. I thought it's a little bit different because we've done the black. So if I'm using black, I nearly always use black ink and clear powder. If it's a coloured embossing powder, then I will use the clear ink. There's no point in really wasting a coloured ink under something that's literally going to be covered up with embossing powder. All right, so we've got our design there, and then the other two pieces, I'm not necessarily going to use the embossing powder, and I just wanted a slight contrast. So I'm going to use some finesse ink, and I've not brought my little acrylic block, so I'm just going to improvise with that one and press, because it's only a little stamp. I can do that one with my finger, and I can do the same with the little bucket that goes at the bottom. So again, just ink it up in your ink pad, and again line it up. Now I tried this, just as a top tip for you, I tried doing this all at once when I first started. Oops, that's because I've done it with the fingers there, it's gone through, but I'm going to cover that up so we're not too worried. But yeah, just a top tip, when I first stamped this out, I put all of them onto my stamping platform. So I actually got the tree in position, and I put the star on top of it, and I put the base underneath it, thinking, right, we can do all this together. So you can, but it left quite a big gap because of the nature of the stamp, and you've got the bottom edge of the stamp and the top edge of the bucket. It left quite a big gap between where the bucket started and the star was floating above the tree. So from my point of view, I preferred to do them separately. So again, if you do happen to get a little bit like this that's missing, you can always pop in with one of your pens and just pop those details back in there. But I'm going to cover this anyway, so I'm not too worried about that, because what I've done is stamped it again on a little bit of scrap paper, and I've just got a little bit of wood grain paper there that was perfect for that little bucket. So I'm going to cut around on that black line, and we're going to stick this over the top, luckily, so it's not too worried that I got my fingers stuck in the middle of it. So again, just to snip that out, and then a little bit of glue onto here, inside that stamped area, and then we're going to pop this one so that it looks as if it's in a little wooden crate at the bottom there. Now you might not even need it to have stamped on the card itself. You might just want to stamp the paper piece and then stick that underneath, whichever you prefer. And then all I did after that was to take those same colour pens that we'd already used, and I think I actually used the lighter one first and literally went direct to paper then. So I'm going to go over the top here, and this is just going to darken up those areas where the hearts are. So nice and quick. Again, your other option, like we did at the beginning, and I'll do this on here because I've got one of these already done. But as you get lower down, if you want to create that sort of ombre effect, we'll just do another row with the pen.
It's a really, really lovely effect, this.
Just easy to do, but you could, like we did if you were watching at the top of the show when we'd got the snowman on the go, you could actually agitate some of that. I don't know whether how well it might not move as well now because we've heat set it all. It doesn't look as if it's moving about as well.
Right, okay.
But what I was saying earlier, I can do it with this one now, is if you just pop the tiniest little amount, and I'm just going to give it the tiniest little squeeze there, and you can pick this up here and use this now as a colouring ink. So straight from here, you can see how that's going over the top as well. So, you know, the misters are quite versatile in that the product in there will do different things. It's not just a case of spritzing it onto a bit of card. You can literally use it. You could use it to colour, you know, you might be using some texture paste on a mixed media project. You know, you could mix a bit of this in and colour your texture paste to give it a colour that you wanted to work with. As I say, we're doing this. The one thing I haven't tried doing with them yet, and I will do, is I might try that for next week for the stamping show actually, is seeing whether we can stamp with them.
Nice.
So it would be a case of spritzing some onto here, putting the stamp in it, and then you'd get that really nice sort of watercolour effect when you stamped onto card with them.
Love that idea.
So I'll try that out for next week and see what kind of effects we get. But you can see there, you've got a slight difference in tone, but it gives you like that ombre effect on there. And that's literally all I've done on this one. You can see I've done exactly the same, just spent a little bit longer. Again, I've been much heavier handed here than I have at home with the colour, haven't I? Much paler on that one, which shows the colour on the tree a little bit better.
Have you used
and then
a white gel pen there as well?
Yes, just a little
Nice.
tiny bit, just to put some highlights on it. And then I had a nice little embellishment in my box of gubbins there, just to put the little bow on the tree. And again, just by mounting it on the black there, just makes such a difference, I think. It frames it, draws your eye into it, and that's the bit that we're going to use. And again, keep it nice and simple. I've just made a 5x7 card, matted it with some silver from those 12x12 pads, and then we've got the dreaded tape on the back again here, look. Let me see if it'll behave itself. Here we go, look. Do you know, I do this at home and it works perfectly. And then when I come in the studio, it's like, nope, we're not playing. Not playing. That's one. That's a third of the way there. That's 2/3 of the way.
It's your tweezers, Jan, that are the problem, I think.
Maybe.
Maybe you need your little shovel end tweezers.
There we go, look, that one's played a bit better. And because we're going on to the glitter card, I'm going to add a bit of the wet glue. So in my little applicator is the tacky glue. And this will then soak into the glitter, and it'll give you that good adhesion with your design there. So again, this one's going to go, and I've done different width borders on this one just to create a different look. You don't always have to have that same border on your matting and layering. And again, in the stamp set, you've got those different sentiments. So I've just used a Merry Christmas there. And again, we'll put that on just with a bit of double-sided, and that one's going to go, I think, just across the top there this time. So again, if I turn you that one round now, you can see just a different way of using those and making, you know, sort of just having a play really and seeing what you come up with.
That'd get my vote for demo of the show.
If it doesn't work, it's a bit of cardstock and a bit of your time, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Right, did you want to get ready for demo of the show, Jan? I'm just going to go through these gorgeous glitter and mirror pads that we have. I love these. We launched these recently. What you've got here, 250 GSM, gorgeous double-sided pearlescent in here. But then, shablam, look, you've got, the matching glitter card. Isn't it absolutely gorgianous? Oh, so nice. So you can go for it in the silver, 12 sheets of each in the silver. Look at the regal rose gold that you've got here as well. Absolutely beautiful. And again there with that gorgeous glitter. Or you can go for it in the glittering gold as well. So the really lovely double-sided pearlescent gold card there. And then you've got it in the glitter. It is totally non-shedding as well. Do you want to... there you go. It is amazing. You're going to love it. $19.99, $22.95, under £16, just over $18 for Platinum members. If you want to get your hands on those, it's going to be a very, very tough decision for us, Jan, this one.
Right, do you want me to line them up then?
Yes, please.
Right, so top of the show, then we started with that beautiful stag. So he was number 1, which was a combination of the die cut, and then we used some of that mister in the background. So number 1 with the stag. Number 2 was the snowman. So we used the Bermuda Bay mister on that one, and then bleached some of it out for his snow. So that's number 2. Number 3 was the little robin stack that we decoupaged and turned into penguins with our gift box there. So that's number 3. Number 4 was the partridge in a pear tree. So we cut out the aperture and then dropped that pear tree into the back of that one, and that was the pearlescent mister on that one. So that's number 4. And then number 5, we've just used the heart tree there and done a little bit of stamping and incorporated it with the pens and the spray misters as well there. That was number 5.
Love that. 1, 2, 3 or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. You've got a couple of minutes to get your votes in, so make sure you do get them into us. Crafts TV on Facebook, Crafts Companion. If you are over on YouTube, a lot of love for that last demo. Laura Jones says, I could watch Jan all day. Such a cute, non-traditional card, says Nefertiti. Laura loves the colours. Laquieta says, really enjoying all these techniques that Jan has incorporated in this card. And oh my gorgeous paper pads, says Teresa Tiamako. They are absolutely gorgeous. I know you've got a few other bits there, haven't you, Jan? That,
I've just got a few more samples, that I wanted to share with you. So we had a quick look at this one earlier, but I think it warrants another look. But that's that stag on there, done in glitter card with just white and silver. I think it's absolutely stunning, that one. It really caught my eye. And then we've got that, as I say, almost creator card vibe with that Merry Christmas everyone, but just picking out different areas in there and sort of highlighting bits of it. Then we had the nearly home, so the little girl's on her way home. She's got a very, very Red Riding Hood. She does, there, isn't she? Yeah. Then we've got one of the baubles again, which again you can make into nice little hanging ornaments for the tree, or you can actually pop them onto the front of a card. And then how about the pear tree done in the greens and golds?
Beautiful.
Again, looks totally different, doesn't it, just by changing the colour. So that's the dies. And then the stamp sets, again, I've just used pink on that tree, but look how different it looks with the blue there. So, really, and again, nice. I like how the top parts had some of the hearts coloured in, and then the bottom parts got the gaps coloured in. So again, different ways of having a play around with it. That was the holly wreath, the holly spray. And I had a go at colouring this one, as I say, with the alcohol markers, really pretty. Then we've got those lovely baubles, so again done on the red this time, festive baubles, and then of course you've got that lovely snowman there again.
Really
so
cute.
Just a few ideas of things that you can do with them if you've bought into this with us today.
All of them, loads and loads and loads of fun. Demo of the show is number 3, Jan, the penguin.
Number 3, the penguins. Thank you very much.
Indeed, that is your demo of the show.
Yep.
I'm not surprised there at all. I want to take you back through the brand new colours on the airless misters that we've got. So these are the 12 brand new colours that we've got here. So you've got the Bermuda Bay. You can also go for the black wrist. It does seem to give it a bit more sort of, they seem quite rigid, don't they, at the cardstock after you've got the inks dried on them?
Yes.
Seems to give them a bit more rigidity.
All the swatches have been done on stamping card,
yeah,
Joe. So they're
quite thick once it's dried. Green Galore, Hot Fiesta, Amber Lights. You can go for Maya Blue. This one here is the Meadow Moss. You've also got the Night Reflection, Pacific Point, Flirty Pink, love that one, Cherry Pop, and you've also got then the Poppy Parade there. You then have got the pearlescence as well, and these look very different depending on the type of card they go onto. So Copper Blaze on the white card there, you can see. Look at how shiny and gorgeous that is, but then completely different on the black card. This one here is the Gold Rush, really beautiful there on the black, gives us a really different look and feel. You've then got the Silver Moon Dust here, and then if you do that onto the black cardstock, you can see, again, really lovely different look. And the Rose Pearl, I mean, this one blows me away. I can't believe how different it looks on the two different surfaces there. Absolutely gorgeous. We've also got Pearl Whisper as well. All of the pearlescents are now over 30% gone. Jan, we are back together, aren't we, in 2 hours' time for a Fast and Furious sales show. What can we expect?
Oh, a bit of everything. Cartload coming up at 7 p.m. here in the UK. So yeah, I've got some of the outline dies on there. We're going to do something different with those. I've made some bunting using one of our alphabet dies. So yeah, loads of demos lined up for you again later. Well, I'm saying techniques, I think, rather than demos. We want to get through as much as we can for you.
Amazing. Yep. Really looking forward to that. 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. East Coast time, 11 a.m. for you West Coasters. Remember though, the star of the show has been, of course, these brand new stamps and dies from Creative Expressions. You guys have absolutely loved these. You've got, of course, all of your Christmas dies in there, 7 different die collections, and then, of course, you've got then the 6 different stamp sets in there for you as well. Lots of you going for them now as we come to the end of the show. They're all available individually over on the website. If you want to grab a hold of them over there, it's completely up to you. We're going to go and have our dinner, our supper, our tea. I'm not sure what we're having. We're all going to go have our evening meal before we come back, aren't we? Yep. Maybe it's a lupper, because it is quite an early supper. I don't know. Don't forget to check out your baskets. Make sure you grab all of the awesome goodies that we've had in the show today. You've got a couple of hours. Make sure you're back here at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. East Coast time, where we're going to have that incredible cartload for you then. See you then. Bye.